Once upon a time, there was a woodcutter named Cuoi who made a living by chopping wood. Cuoi was kind and hardworking. One day, like usual, Cuoi took his axe and went deep into the forest to find trees to cut. While crossing a small stream, Cuoi was startled to spot a tiger's den. Looking around, he saw only 4 tiger cubs playing in front of the cave. Cuoi rushed in and swung his axe, striking each cub with a single blow, leaving them motionless on the ground. Just then, the mother tiger returned. Frightened, Cuoi threw down his axe and climbed up a tall tree. From above, he watched the furious tiger raging beside her lifeless cubs. Suddenly, the mother tiger ran to a tree near Cuoi's hiding spot, bit off some leaves, and chewed them before feeding them to her cubs. Miraculously, the cubs began to stir, wagged their tails, and soon stood up and ran around as if nothing had happened. Realizing this was a magical healing tree, Cuoi waited until the tiger took her cubs away, then climbed down, dug up the entire tree, and carried it home. On the way back, Cuoi came across an old man lying unconscious in a meadow. Curious, Cuoi approached and saw that the man had died. Without hesitation, he chewed a few leaves from the magical tree and fed them to the old man. Amazingly, the old man opened his eyes and came back to life. He gratefully thanked Cuoi and asked him what had happened. Cuoi honestly told him the whole story. After hearing it, the old man exclaimed, "Oh, I've heard of this tree. It's called the Banyan tree with the power to revive the dead. Take good care of it so it could save many lives. But remember, never water it with dirty water, or it will fly away to the sky." Saying this, the old man walked off with his cane. Cuoi brought the tree back and planted it in a corner of his garden where he could care for it daily. Always remembering the old man's words, Cuoi watered the tree every day with clean well water. Since having the magical tree, Cuoi saved many lives. Whenever he heard of someone who had just passed away, he would rush over with the leaves to heal them. Word of Cuoi's miracle powers spread far and wide. One day, a rich man from a nearby village came running to ask Cuoi to save his daughter, who had just drowned. Cuoi gladly followed him, used the leaves to treat her, and soon the girl's pale face turned rosy. She opened her eyes, stretched, and sat up. The old man was overjoyed and wanted to marry his daughter to Cuoi. The girl also agreed to marry her benefactor. And so, the wedding between Cuoi and the girl was held not long after. The two of them lived together very harmoniously, loving each other. However, after coming back to life, Cuoi's wife had a forgetful nature. Many times, while doing housework, she would suddenly forget what she was doing. Cuoi was very worried and reminded his wife every day to water the banyan tree with clean water. One afternoon, while her husband was still out gathering firewood, Cuoi's wife was washing vegetables in the eastern garden when she accidentally kicked over the vegetable washing basin. Dirty water poured onto her husband's precious tree. Suddenly, the entire area began to shake, the surrounding trees trembled, and the wind blew fiercely. The banyan tree started to uproot and majestically flew up into the sky. At that moment, Cuoi arrived at the gate and heard his wife shouting loudly. Seeing the precious tree about to fly away, Cuoi realized the situation and immediately dropped his bundle of firewood, rushing to try to hold onto the tree. But the tree had already risen too far from the ground. Cuoi barely managed to hook his axe onto the tree's roots to pull it down, but the tree continued to fly up and could not be stopped. Cuoi also refused to let go of the axe, which caused the magical tree to pull him up into the sky, eventually taking him all the way to the moon. Since then, Cuoi has lived on the moon with his magical banyan tree. Hence, whenever we look up at the moon, we can see the shadow of Cuoi sitting under the tree.